6:32, Monday, February 2nd, calling the select board to order. First item up, are there any additions or adjustments to the agenda as presented?
I've got nothing.
I believe we have to reschedule our next meeting.
Yes. Were you gonna talk about that at the beginning or toward the end?
We just do it at the end. We don't need to hold anybody up. Fair enough. Any others? Invoices and orders are going around.
Sorry, you said we're going to reschedule the next meeting?
It's on a holiday.
President's Day.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's probably works out best because we were gonna have rec groups come and Isabel wasn't able to come, so I was gonna ask if we wanted to just move that meeting, so. Guess we'll see.
Typically, we try not to have meetings on days that employees have.
Yeah.
meetings.
Definitely, but I'm gonna first check with Isabel to make sure she can come to whatever date we reset for that. Just so you guys know.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
It's not like with school meeting or something, or wasn't there something else?
Yeah.
Yes, a school meeting that night.
School budget meeting.
Okay.
Invoices are going around. I believe Adrian has them. Public comment or announcements, any from the public? Mona?
Oh, hi, Morna.
Morna, sorry.
I just want to say, thank you. I believe you're probably going to be signing today for the Blueberry Festival. And thank you, everybody that were very enthusiastic and hearing a lot of good feedback from people that were following.
That's great.
Is that all you're here for?
That's really all I'm here for.
Yeah, I thought we said John could sign it, but does it have all our names on it?
I've got, yeah, I've got the board names on it.
Just pass it around and you can pick it up from Rosemary at the end. You can stay for the rest if you'd like.
That was all supposed to be done for now.
It's getting done. Yes.
Yeah,
But I want to call the floor 20.
okay.
Very much. John.
Yeah, no problem.
We're signing it right now if you wanna grab it from us. Okay. Mhm.
Are there any select board updates, issues, concerns, anything? On the select board? Hearing none. Consent agenda for public's information, the approval of meeting minutes from January 22nd. It's on the consent agenda. Could I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
No,
Is there a motion and a second? Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Okay.
All those opposed?
Yeah, we didn't
Waiting.
approve that last meeting.
We did, but
And,
it has all our signatures, so.
I thought there was a deadline.
The signed version now.
Rosemary,
Yes.
the floor is all yours.
Okay, I handed out a budget status report at the end of January.
What is finish?
Anything of concern for you or what? A little over 50% of the way through the year?
That's for 7 months, so
Right.
much easier will be to tell it. And you also have on this report the industrial park expenses in the library. And the riverbank projects.
Under the industrial park. 55600-10, it says income homes meadow.
That's not industrial park, that's. Should be.
Oh, sorry, it's under total industrial park. My apologies. Thank you.
That's revenue. 46,385.
46,385 expense.
There's a revenue here. So include that. 45,836. For Holmes Meadow.
Have we received all the funds for the riverbank stabilization?
No, I'm gonna submit them this week.
The library is the 56-7.
Mhm.
But that doesn't have,
It's just this year, it doesn't include last year.
okay. So it's not total project, it's
No, it's just
from
full year.
July 1. Any questions from the board? I can shut up.
It'd be a first. Lights on fire.
Next up, Rosemary.
And I bet you a printout of collection of current taxes. To date, we're at 61.83 total collected. And that's slightly less than the past 2 days at the same time. We're taxes are due next week, so. For the third installment. I gave you a list of all the tax years that are delinquent.
Is this a typical percent sent for this time of year?
Yes.
Second, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
these are the last 2 years
Okay,
we're at right now.
okay,
Last installment is due, or
This is
pretty soon.
today.
okay,
You can see we're
This is the build amount.
right around the trend.
This right here.
Okay.
Balance.
I didn't know if this was like
And then, so.
turned in for those years, but okay, all right.
Okay, the third installment.
No, this is the balance due today. Amount you're ready, amount due on February 2nd. This is a total. No, for the quarter. And a lot of people pay the whole bill in the first quarter.
Yeah, okay,
Okay?
okay. That's gonna say, same dates on.
That's today.
Well, I know, I see that.
That's this is the balance. For each installment. Quarter. Does it break down?
The balance that will be due is not actually.
Yeah, that's due, that's the balance that.
Do these fall off at a certain amount of years or?
We'll get to delinquent taxes soon.
Installment.
They disappear when you pay them.
That's.
Okay.
Installment.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you good, Paul?
Got it, yep. Just a little slow, sorry.
seem right about in line, give or take. Is that concerning to you?
I'm gonna contact the attorney again and see when he's gonna start. Or maybe it'll be late enough so we can do every year we have to wait at least a year. Like May of 25. We have to wait till it's May of 26 for we can start.
It's tax. So you're getting into the delinquent tax conversation. Would you like to go over that report?
Oh,
Do you have any questions on that, board members? Delinquent taxes disappear when they're paid,
Okay,
or if the Board of Abatement were to abate a portion of them, or all of them,
so they can just keep accruing?
until we have a tax sale, which we've been trying to do for,
3 or 4 years.
well, no, it wasn't really serious until after last town meeting, but then our attorney had a conflict of interest, and we had to find a new attorney. And the state is making tax sales harder on towns every year to recoup, so yeah, they just keep adding up.
Do we make,
and they can't go to tax sale for under $1,500.
I thought we were at 1,000, but the state,
Dollars.
no kidding.
it's a weird question, but do we ever like check to make sure these people are still alive or like,
There are some that,
okay,
But the taxes are on the parcel.
oh,
So if a person were to die and their parcel owed back taxes and it were to transfer, the debt on
land,
those taxes would transfer with it.
Mhm.
mobile home.
Mobile homes are a special.
Mhm.
mm,
There's a lot of mobile homes.
mm-hmm.
I'm sure. Any questions from the board? Anything further, Rosemary?
No.
So at this point, are you hoping to delay delinquent tax sales, or you think they'll just be slow enough that we'll be dealing with it in
They will
2020?
be short, you're short.
Look here quick.
Yeah.
Questions from the board? Hearing none, next up is the library. Thank you for joining us. Did you look this over?
Oh, there we go.
Whatever, you guys need to make sure the button.
Is it top button holding in or at the bottom button?
The top two you press and hold in until the green button goes away.
Shoot right at it.
All the delinquent taxes. I don't know if we can afford our electric bill. Okay, sorry, were you grabbing something that has to be down?
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Okay,
You want one with them? What's that? Peter, did you have a chance to share with them about our meeting?
No.
Okay,
No.
you want me to do that, or do you wanna share?
Ellie? Ellie,
Okay.
sure.
John.
Hear Peter better if he wants to do it.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll talk loud. John and Peter and I met with the Department of Libraries today, and we had a really good meeting. And we were told that we can do our library project in phases, and that we don't have to complete the project in order to meet the requirements of the grant. Catherine, what's her name? Delano? Anyway, she's the state librarian. She's going to come and meet with our committee, and we're going to have Paul there, our architect, and we're going to figure out a way
to open the library by December 26th or 31st and finish phase 1, which will meet all the requirements of the grant. And so there is no worry about having to pay back any money. So
Very good.
Can I get those back?
Hmm?
Can I get those back? The orders. That's good. Continue. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah. So we just found that out at like 3 o'clock today. So we do still plan to apply for more grants, and we do still plan to fundraise because we do want to finish the project as soon as we can. But we're not under the time constraint and the pressure to get everything finished by December 26th. So that is helpful.
That's great. So you do have to open the old building now?
Catherine said that she would like for us to fix up the old part of the library and use that. And the only 2 requirements for the grant will be to make it ADA accessible and to have a private space for telehealth. So we will figure out.
Designated office or something?
Mhm. Yep, we'll figure out how to be able to do that. Shouldn't be a problem.
That's
So-
great news. Hardly feeling cynical, but do we have that in writing?
Well, no, we don't have it in
No,
writing,
we don't.
but I feel very confident that that is the way it is. And Catherine's going to come and meet with our committee, and we'll have more news after the committee meeting. We know exactly what we're going to do. And the committee will have Brian there, the contractor and our architect will be there, and we'll get it all figured out.
And do we have, is there meeting minutes for those? I do think
No.
that should be done in writing. So if there aren't minutes taken, then I think the committee should write back afterwards and say, this is our
This is
understanding.
give a report, yes.
This- Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. We have not been doing minutes because it's a committee meeting, but we certainly can do a report.
I think something like this is really important, just to get it documented.
Mhm. Yep.
Now, do we need to? I guess I don't know what that has. It's great news. What that has for a money savings availability, and if we need to go and change our contract with the builder.
So we had a meeting with Back 40 Builders this last week, and Brian told us that if we want to make changes to the plan that will change the cost of the contract, that we just have to document what changes we're making, what the costs are and what the savings are, and that we can change the contract for the town. So that doesn't seem too hard. The one thing that did happen last week that I wanted to bring to your attention was that we got the invoice from Tetro, and their original bid was $184,100, and the invoice amount, I've got this on the paper, it's about here. And the invoice amount is $205,310 And I didn't know, I asked Rosemary to hold off on paying that because it's so far above what their bid was. And I didn't know if the bid is a binding contract. Are they required to do the work for that amount? I just didn't know.
I think I've asked for answers on that too. Because we approved an exact dollar amount,
Mhm.
and there was some add-ons in their bid that were never approved by the board.
Jingle or something.
And there was a change order that needed to be done, but maybe should have come in front of the board for approval.
I never saw any change orders or anything.
Yeah, it was
So,
a quick thing.
yeah,
So when it comes to the $5,600 for the damp proofing,
hmm
that was my fault. I got a call from the project manager for Tetro and our general contractor car. Because Holmes Meadow was going to be bringing in the dirt, banking it against the foundation, and there was no damp proofing. And I guess the project manager for Tetro mentioned it to Brian. Said it wasn't in their bid. Anyway, we had dirt coming to pile up against the foundation that we had to do, and somebody had to call it quick. And I said, go ahead, damp proof the foundation.
That little bit of asphalt cost $5,600. I must be in the wrong business.
So, but also connected to that is going back and looking at the RFP. It was in the RFP as vapor barrier. So we need to have a conversation with Tetro's project manager.
okay.
Could I step in for just a second? My understanding of that line would be there was supposed to be 2 inches of insulation on the inside and on the outside. I think the vapor barrier is stego wrap on the ground beneath the floor
Okay.
and not walls. So there was some stuff that got added in, some stuff that didn't get done. So I think sort of a settling out of the account, not to get done with paper.
Yeah.
And the other question was maybe about anchor bolts not getting done.
Right. Yeah.
There's some stuff like that.
Okay. So who can meet with Tetro? Who sets up the meeting? I'm not the best person to go to that meeting.
Well, John and I had a
Eric.
conversation the other day, and I wasn't able to do it today, but it's on my list to call.
Okay.
Basically,
If that little bit of asphalt that was sprayed on that foundation cost $5,600, I think we got it ripped off somewhere. Because that's an exorbitant amount of money for that little bit of product. Now, I don't know how many people stepped on that, whether they hired somebody to do it for X number of dollars and then somebody added some money on top of that. But $5,600, I would never pay that amount of money in a million years. I would have gone out there with a bucket and a brush and put it on for the town for $5,600.
Okay.
There's probably no way to get that back either.
it's not been expended yet.
I just want to know who made all that money on that, tell you the truth.
Somebody. But the other things that total the $21,000 delta are $8,500 for concrete cutting, which was not approved. Frost-free hydrant for $5,000, which was not approved. 5610 for the damp proofing, which was not approved, and 2,100 for interior foundation drain installation. They did 60 feet at $35 a foot. All those numbers add up to the extras that were not approved at our, when did we do that? In October? On October 6th, 2025.
You said 8,600 for concrete cutting?
Yes, it's right in their
Yeah, well,
proposal that was in front of us.
We probably should have had all of those in the RFP So they weren't dangling down there at the bottom.
Possibly. But the RFP was kind of written extras if needed, not to be included in total bid response, not required to respond. 3A, B, C, and D. And our specific motion was to approve $184,100.
Yep.
So that was
That's what I'm
about
gonna
21
say.
grand.
Stick to anything else.
Regardless, I can contract at who contacts Tetro, and
Thought Peter said he was going to.
are
Peter,
you guys
Yeah,
okay? You need help? Let me know.
Could they give a permission by Tom, but cutting of that?
Town administrator doesn't have authority to spend town funds. No individual board member does. I can't spend town funds that I know of.
I'm just wondering if they took that as a go, so.
8,600 for that little bit of concrete cutting. I'm in the wrong job again.
Well, it's a big hole.
Yeah, that big.
I mean, maybe there was and they could furnish it, and if that was the case, we probably have to swallow it and pay it even though we didn't approve it.
Who says?
If a town figure approved it, even though
If it was your own money, would you do that?
absolutely not.
Absolutely right. So if you had a contract with somebody for X number of dollars and then gave you a bill for a lot more, you'd say, hey, our agreement was this, and that's what you're getting paid. Period.
But now I can change a bunch of stuff.
If they could furnish proof that there was some go ahead from the town, then that would be on the town.
Yeah,
Right.
It's not their fault.
If there's-
We follow
If
procedure
there's
agreed.
no approval, no, won't pay it.
Some of these prices that we're paying, we're taking it on the chin. We really are. We are getting ripped off every time we turn around.
Yeah. That one's underway. What else you got?
okay, so, I kind of went through your email and tried to answer as many questions as I could that you asked. I, so you can, I have here where the money is in which bank accounts. And, these are basically the same numbers that I gave you last month as far as how much money we have available. And then I have some shortfall numbers, which may or may not be the same as John's. These are the numbers that I had that I came up with. Our shortfall before we got the Tetro bill was $331,892.08. And then the other numbers are with the lower amount that we agreed to, and then with the higher amount that adds to our shortfall. But it's, in the $500,000 range, which is what we have said. We have made fundraising plans, and the second page here is a list of all of the potential grants that we're going to apply for and when their due dates are. They're kind of in order of when the due dates are for the grants.
Kelly,
Yes.
could you ask your question, stand back a
Yes,
little bit? You say you have two serious major donors.
yes.
Do you have any kind of sense how major they are that you can share with us, that is?
No, I can't share right now. We're not gonna identify anyone that doesn't
You don't
want to be
want- I
identified.
just want to know who they are. I just want to know a sense, if you have any idea.
The sense is more than $100,000. That's the
great.
sense. That's the sense. But you know, that's not anything written in stone. We don't have money in the pocket yet, but we have quite a few people that we're talking to.
That's good news.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. And,
We need
You
a
know,
little bit.
well, I feel like today's meeting was really good news with the Department of Libraries.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the other thing is that we are 80% funded. You know, our shortfall is only 20% of the whole project, which is, you know, pretty good to be 80% funded. I mean, it'd be better to be 100% funded, but it's not, you know, absolutely dire. And that's before we make any cuts or anything. So, yeah. Let's see. So we have, there is a letter on the third page from Aurora, and she is heading up the fundraising part, and I am heading up the grant part of fundraising. And then the last two pages are kind of our plan for the fundraising, and we have not released this to the public yet, but it will be released. And so you're just kind of getting a preview of what we're doing. The last two pages are our donor letter that we're going to send out. And then this is kind of a publicity kind of thing that we're going to do. And as far as how much we're going to raise, I would just be guessing if I gave you an amount, because I really don't know. I really don't know. So what questions do you have?
Since we don't know exactly what changes are gonna be, you don't know the extent of the cost savings to be had. But so if we assume we're working with the previous iteration of payment schedules,
I think that when we have our committee meeting, and we talk about what we're going to do on the project first, because we have to finish certain things to meet the requirements of the grant, that the payment schedules and all that may be changing some. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see.
I ain't got the question part yet.
Mhm.
My question is, when do we run out of money we have now? So when do we need more money?
Probably pretty soon. You know, probably pretty soon.
Yeah. So
But-
Paul, there was payment due at the end of March.
Yes, but as long, you know, if we get to the place to where we have the inside of the old library fixed up enough to be able to open it, and we have access, and we have a closed off room, at that point, we're finished with phase one. And we've met the grant requirements, and we're finished with phase one. And
So is there an estimate to what phase one will cost? That new phase one?
I think we have enough to do phase one.
Rosemary, do you know the answer to that question?
As I understand, none of the grant money was supposed to be used for the old building, only just the insurance money.
So when I talked with Catherine today, she said that we're going to be changing the parameters of the grant to a phase one, phase two, phase three, however many phases, and that all of those kinds of things will be rewritten.
That's
So
great.
assuming that all those parameters change, am I correct in an assumption that we've already paid out 1.4? Based on this sheet,
Yeah, that includes the Metro invoice.
Mhm.
huh?
That includes the Tatro invoice.
Okay, so we,
So I think it's 1.2 prior to the Tatro invoice.
is that in this?
Yeah.
Um,
That's not the total. That only shows since the lot. This-
so we have. Yeah, the 205 isn't paid out of that 1.4, right?
Right.
And does that include the December payment to
Yes. that
back
would be
40?
Next payment to back 40 is,
Due in February, end of February.
yeah, and 283K.
Is that less the retainage? Or is that including the retainage?
I guess I don't know what you mean by that.
I think we have to
This is-
save 5% progressively. Good question.
Yeah.
I thought that was in the payment schedule that we,
We
Yep.
also asked about the extra $180,000. And the way that works is when all of the original grant money, the 1.5, has been dispersed, we basically fill out a form showing that we're not finished and that we have need, and then that money can be used. So it is reserved for us.
Sounds like you got all the news. Eric, you had a comment?
I was just thinking that you were maybe wondering about when we might see any cost savings, and I realized. See, we did, the building is kind of middle of the road construction, it's not extravagant. There's not a lot of easily picked low hanging fruit. I think what we could see savings in is mostly down the road, and I was just writing out a list like the cupola. Roof framing has already been accommodated cupola, but we don't have to build a cupola.
we didn't approve funding for a cupola.
That was $40,000 and we cut that out.
Yeah, that was,
Along with the $25,000 for the steps.
All right, well, we're on the same page then, so I was saying landscaping, steps, walkways, gas fireplace, flooring in the new room. So I think spec'd out as people could be composite flooring of some kind. One of the questions was heat pumps, whether we just bag them for now, which also would eliminate AC ability. I think, you know, Ryan could best identify, if we suggest that he switch from maple to composite flooring, he could say, all right, that will save you X thousands of dollars. Then that goes to you guys to decide whether you issue a change order, right, and say, yeah, we're gonna do that, whatever. Given the stuff paid from there, I guess it better be a fairly
Yeah, but there'd be,
transparent or something.
Well, tighter, yeah.
there's nothing very.
okay, that's helpful.
No.
Thank you. It's less urgent, I guess, knowing what we now know about the funds.
Right.
And what you can spend on.
Right.
But still,
Right. Mhm.
Give or take May 31st,
Yeah,
we won't have any money.
give or take.
Based on the payment schedule, just quick numbers in my head, which are dangerous.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
So as part of the conversation, going to be what, not only what the savings are, but what the cost is for the new phase one. And what's the timeline for the new phase one?
Mhm. We just found out about it at 3:00 and
Yeah.
we haven't had a chance to have a meeting with our architect and our builders. And we will be able to answer those questions after we've had our meeting. So, you know,
To kind of go on to what you said about May, you know, we've got some stuff here that looks pretty good. There could be a whole different optic in May on this project.
I'd like to know what could be cut and to see that paperwork in front of us with numbers. I would also like, if we're gonna change this to a phase one, phase two, to have something to send the builder, because whether or not we could talk about switching it to phase one, phase two, we are affecting workflow, profits, everything for the builder, which we have a contract with.
Mhm.
So we could say, yeah, we want phase one, phase two, and Brian is a good guy. I'm not speaking negatively about anybody. What if we get to May 31st and don't have anything to pay the bill with?
I would anticipate that Brian's gonna be part of that conversation.
He's definitely going to be there at the committee meeting. And like I said, we may have to renegotiate the contract because part of the phase one, phase two thing is delaying finishing based on the fact that we don't have money. So we will be raising money, applying for grants, doing all the things we can to finish as quickly as we can. We all want the library finished.
Certainly. I was trying to answer.
Eric, when you said something about the steps and then you're gonna try to save the granite steps versus the concrete steps, or?
Ryan said landscaping line item is pretty big, again, that's.
We didn't approve.
Yeah, I
I didn't
understand
approve the
that.
granite steps.
I know,
Oh,
I know we did. But, there was some talk about granite is forever, concrete isn't. So,
Gotta be wise in making those choices. I think the other thing is, like, the windows are kind of below the road windows, and it doesn't pay to go to cheap windows, siding and stuff like that, we can't change. Cabinetry inside, stuff like that, sure. Get rid of it for now.
the granite steps at People's Academy have been there 100 years. They probably look just as good as the day they were put in. If those have been concrete, how many times have they been replaced?
Even the salt usage, you see in public places now, sure, that's an issue.
Right. So certain things should not be on the cheap.
Absolutely.
So you want granite steps?
he wants to add.
Granite steps should be there.
No,
They actually, we didn't approve them, but they actually should be there.
oh, I got you.
We'll send you a change.
Should be there. And if there's any possible way to have granite steps, they should be granite steps there.
Actually,
I think all
I
these things will be choices that you guys make, right?
What'd you say?
Brian can come to you, or the board can come to you with a list of potential change orders. And that's a decision you guys make.
Right. Well, everybody knows how I feel about granite steps. I don't think I need to expand upon
What do you think
anymore.
about them?
Yeah, another thing that we've talked about is the fireplace. Originally, we were going to put a gas insert in there and have it so that it could run because it hasn't been functional for many years. But we don't have to do that right now. We can do that later when we have money. We don't have to buy the cabinets right now. We can just use wire shelves or whatever until we can afford them. And we're certainly willing to do that.
So we invite you back, we come back with more good news like this?
Well, I mean, the news that I'm hearing is we need concrete proof that the grant parameters are changing from the grant
I
administration.
feel very confident after having talked with Catherine today. She, that's what they do. They administer grants to libraries. And she said that there are many other libraries that are currently having negotiations also. We're not the only ones. And they, she said the Department of Treasury just wants them to make sure that the money is spent well for the libraries. And she said to us today that everything she can see from our project looks like we've done a good job with our money.
I think that's great. It's really wonderful to hear. I do think we need to get that in writing, whether it's directly from them or after your next meeting, just writing them back saying, here's what we understand.
But that would be a grant.
I think we also need to define phase one, like that needs to be written down somewhere so that you, back 40, everybody else town knows what that means.
Mhm.
So that we just don't have any misunderstanding or confusion in the future.
So we did a grant amendment and a contract amendment.
Right.
We all in agreement with those two.
What was the first part of your sentence?
Grant amendment and a contract amendment.
The contract amendment would include a description, a cost and schedule. Yeah,
Whatever phase one is.
yeah.
Lights
We
on.
don't know, like I said, we just found out at 3 o'clock today.
No, I'm just trying to give you what we would
Yeah.
like you to come back
Mhm,
with,
mhm.
whatever that is.
Yep.
What do you mean by phase 1, 2?
Whatever I've heard tonight.
Do you mean like with extending the grant schedule, like phase 1 will use the money that's right now, and then phase 2 will come back to things?
Like Kelly explained it, it's phase one is fix up the old building to meet the grant requirements.
Okay.
Make sure that's done by the end of the year, that way everybody's happy.
Mhm.
And you can waste all the money in the world, and
That's
everything else.
phase one.
But, well, one issue I see is that we've already bought like the framing and lumber material,
Yeah.
so we don't want that to like sit and.
I'll
No,
have to go up.
no,
Yeah,
and
that's
we
what
should,
need to make sure we're all in agreement as
Yeah.
to what this
Okay.
means to delay
Just
things.
calling it out.
Yeah,
Have to at least weather tight it.
Yeah, you can
Mhm.
Plywood's
get a roof on it,
yeah,
do the finish work at a later time.
So I don't know.
Are we able to approve the payment schedule,
I mean, we already approved the contract.
the updated payment schedule?
What's the big difference?
The difference is,
Shifted by a month. right?
yeah, shifted by a month and, the project extended to November 1st instead of October 1st.
Yeah, I think the retention's progressive, the way the contract read. Because the line item is for like 1 year completion retention release.
Mhm.
Does anybody have an issue with the new payment schedule?
the payment schedule and the amounts might change given whatever conversation is next.
yeah.
But,
Right, so
but since the next payment is February 28th, do we want to just approve this now? So that if it's not figured, a new payment schedule is not figured out before then, we're not missing the payment?
Don't prove anything.
I mean, the one that we're under, I think we have to pay that amount January 28th.
Hmm.
Right? Didn't it just push it back a month?
We've already paid on December 19th, but the next payment's on February 28th.
Yeah. I'm fine with it, but. It tracks the contract amount that we have. We're asking for an amended one. We could be told no.
it seems to me if we're about to change things and approving, I don't know, I'm going to rush to approve the payment schedule if we're about to change everything.
Well, if you don't approve the payment schedule, then you're late a payment.
Well, we have a meeting on the 16th. Payments,
No, I'm just saying a payment was already due from the last payment schedule that was approved.
the next payment is due February 28th, you said.
From this updated payment schedule, the old payment schedule, the payment was due the last week of January.
Yeah, like January
Oh,
28th.
that's what you, okay, that's what you were referring to.
Yeah.
It just delays it a month
Mhm.
because of weather conditions and stuff.
Yeah,
So you're proposing, thank you,
I just don't want you guys to
Sorry,
be late.
so you're proposing we approve the new payment schedule as far as the next payment, and then after that,
As far as a new one is created, if so wished by Brian. Yeah,
we don't have enough money to commit to the whole payment schedule.
No, we don't. We didn't have enough money to commit to the contract.
Right, so
well, you can approve for the
Payment-
next payment.
The payment schedule just tracks the contract dollar figures. Gotta love that, don't you? I don't know what to do.
Call a vote.
Wasn't really mourned for it, but it's part of library discussion.
Yeah,
Can I get a motion to approve the updated payment schedule?
Move, approve the updated payment schedule.
Can I get a second?
Oh, look at me.
I'm looking over your shoulder, Mike.
Good.
Yeah, I don't really like it, but I'll second it.
All right, further discussion?
No.
I will say something
You're the
further.
last.
Maybe I misunderstood it, but I do believe that the town should be invoiced for those.
We
Right.
have been,
So we got an invoice in January?
No.
because we moved the schedule.
All right. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
All those opposed?
Hey,
All right, the ayes have it. Wonderful. You guys are sending invoices for us.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
perfect. So we wouldn't be late. All right, I don't know where to go from here. We're hoping to change this to a phased project. Need work with the architect and the builder. We need GW Tetro's invoice explained or reduced. We have grant amendment, contract amendment.
if we get that straightened out, we could get the
We'll see. Granny.
granite step.
I know it,
I know that they're in storage somewhere.
the granite steps.
The ones that were underneath the ramp at the library.
Why can't we just use those and get a, get
I,
a,
I don't know if they're broken or I don't know how many of them are usable.
we could have got a change deduct, not even do
Yeah.
concrete.
So, but we can, I think, I don't know. I think they're where the road crew stores things. Do they have like a garage or something? Seems like I
All
heard
kinds of
that's where they
things.
are. But I don't know for sure.
Can you
Probably get shipped
They have
up and everything and to move.
If they don't
Yeah.
exist, at least that question will be.
You need to start out with nice new
Yeah.
clean
Builds steps.
Oh.
Before we leave the library subject, I feel like we need to be clear on who our point person is for the library project. So that if somebody has a question, who do they call?
Question pertaining to what?
Anything,
Anything.
Like change orders.
anything.
Change orders have to come before the board.
Okay,
That's the way that we'd handle every change order at Holmes Meadow, every change order at the industrial park. Am I wrong about that, Rosemary? No individual board member can spend any town money unless they're given that authority by the whole board. On anything.
we talked last week about maybe we should have had clerk of the works. We can't afford a clerk of the works. But some of those functions with clerk of the works in terms of communication among contractors and the town. You know, I think we need to know.
They do.
Who's the contact?
For building questions.
For the library project?
Architect and engineer. They stamped it. Can you provide me with a solution to your question? It's a good question and maybe it's stumping me. Maybe I'm just trying to answer it and I'm answering it wrong.
Well, we went through a whole period where there was no one. There was a lot of confusion. There was at least one last minute call. Want to damp proof your foundation or not? Wasn't time for a board meeting. But I certainly should have said something to somebody afterward. It's not the only question that's come my way. It's the only money of the towns I've spent. But there have been a lot of questions and I'm just not really clear who they go to. I don't think we want to dump this on John. But we need a plan.
I thought a clerk of the works would be great. Since before the library was built,
I'm would be $40,000 further in the hole, too.
give or take.
Give or
I
take,
don't know
yeah.
how much it'd be.
Well, I tell you, if you had a decent clerk of the works that really minded the store, he might have been able to pay his salary by what we're getting taken over the coals for. On numerous things.
But we're,
Actually, it's like the old frame oil filters. You pay me now or pay me later.
but we're already too deep into the project, I fear.
Doesn't mean a clerk of the works can't save some money somewhere in this whole project. Keep track of things, making sure we're not being taken advantage of by different entities.
I think
Carl orchestrated the whole Holmes Meadow fill to the library business. If he hadn't done that, who would do it?
Probably John. Hopefully.
Okay. If you want to keep going the way we've been going,
I think you're asking a really good question. That's obvious we don't have a good answer. Ideally, we would have a clerk of the works, but we don't. So the question is, what do we do in the meantime? Or instead of?
yeah.
This whole thing's turned into a boondoggle, really.
I'm glad you feel that way, Mike, but that doesn't help.
I understand that. But the point is, when this whole project started way back when, this was being taken care of by the library, and the select board was basically, it stood back. It wasn't really our project. It was the library's project. And we got pulled into it because of all the shortfalls. And that's it in a nutshell.
I don't agree with you.
I think it's kind of a non-issue because Back 40 Builders has a select board member on it, so we know like the process that the select board needs to approve change orders and certain things. And we know to reach out to the architect for questions, and I think it's a little more handled now, but I have a biased opinion.
No, I think that's a really good point. I think at the next meeting, probably there should be a conversation about exactly that. Maybe you should bring it up, Peter, so you're gonna be there. Anything that costs money, change orders, it's gotta come to the select board. But the other questions goes to the architect. Right? I mean, if the builders have a question,
That's
the
what's
architect.
been happening so far with Back 40. So
Question.
that's what's been happening with Back 40 so far. When there's a question about the plans or anything, we ask the architect.
Question came up today or the end of last week. I can't remember now. Boulder Excavation was bringing the dirt over to the site. What's the understanding with them? Are they just delivering dirt to the site? Who's placing it against the foundation? And who's paying for that? We don't really know the answer to that. Somebody should find out. You know, there are these questions.
Yeah, no, there will be.
To answer that specific question and not the overall issue, I think Tom had said that the Boulder did the trucking and they don't place. They simply dump over there, so that material leaders gotta get stockpiled.
So I just, put that out there as an example of a question that came up. It just so happens when I went over to the library this afternoon, a Boulder employee was placing the fill against the foundation.
Nice of it.
Nice of him. Are we getting a bill?
Who knows?
For the Holmes Meadow project.
I hope so.
We're not gonna get a bill for the library.
The original understanding, as I knew it, was what Eric just said. They were trucking over, and that was going to be picked up by the grant covering Holmes Meadow. There's no clarity about what's happening with placing the material against the foundation. I mean, maybe they were doing it today because they decided to include that in the grant too, but if they didn't, we're gonna get another unexpected bill.
We haven't received one unexpected bill from them. I hear the concern.
Another unexpected bill. On top of
If nobody told them to do it and they did it, they can't give us a bill.
It's a valid point, but you're only giving one example. I think the overreaching question's larger. We can answer that question tomorrow. For all I know, I mean, you wanna talk about original, right? I heard 5,000, I heard 6,000 yards, we're getting trucked over. 700 or 800, maybe they just said, well. We do them a solid and we don't have to give a credit for the extra trucking, I don't know.
All right, I'm
But
done.
let's not get hung up on that.
Would you-
The question is not placing dirt, the question is who answers questions.
Would you like to circulate an RFP for a clerk of the works? Or it's just like late in the project, I know we were having these conversations last year,
How does the library feel
it
about
was too early at that time.
people that are there every day?
I
Keep an eye on things.
I don't think we have a really strong feeling. You know, it does seem like it would be helpful to have somebody, you know, overseeing everything, because there isn't one person that's doing that.
Have we reached out to Trudell, the architect, and Lumley, the engineer? And, you know, what would they charge?
Certainly ask them. It might be just an RFP, see if they respond.
So the shortfall of 555,000. But there could be some massive fall pretty soon too, so
So much money.
massive money.
All right, let's leave it.
I mean, who answers questions on the building design would be the building designers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul has been
Who
doing
would
that.
answer questions on funding? Regardless of a clerk of the works or not. Is this board? Who would answer questions on? You know, project deduct costing, we would probably have to request that. From the builder would have to offer it up. If the builder decided to. Not answering questions.
Well, there won't be any other subcontractors, like, that aren't under back 40, so after
Pretty
this
much.
phase, it won't be an issue, right?
I mean, a clerk of the works does more than just the communication portion there. The owner's representative, reading the prints, making sure things are installed as specified.
Mhm.
They walk
No,
around,
I'm
make
not-
sure things are done right.
I'm not saying the contractor we select wouldn't do it right, I'm
Mhm.
saying, like you're given building,
Mhm.
they would be the owner's representative that's there every day
Okay.
or twice a week. Small.
They have to be well versed in building construction and the trades and everything else.
Mhm.
Got anything else for the library?
Nothing for me. No.
So should we have John reach out to Lumley and company and just say, hey, what was something like this costs?
They're not gonna do like a full service, but they would do. There's probably project verification in their bid, but clarification on that would be good.
Yep.
How are we gonna handle the grant amendment? Okay. The contract amendment looks like we need a little bit more info on phases to make a request. Okay. Keep up the good work,
Make us the bad guy and say we asked for it.
right?
Can I make a suggestion, Mr. Chairman?
Go for it.
Maybe next meeting when we have an agenda, we can allot more time for the library rather than 20 minutes. It's taken about 45 right now, so.
It's because those sand granite steps.
Well, that's just kind of a sidebar every now and then. That's
Yeah.
picking up any time.
So when are we asking the library to come back?
Every meeting. I don't have the answer.
Your meeting is next week?
We don't have a time yet. We just had our meeting this afternoon. She was gonna give me dates that she has available. That is not the easy. You know, we'll try to find a date everyone can come.
I wish I brought my hearing aids.
One huge question that I have is cash flow. Paul asked when we're gonna run out of money. And I answered it the best I could in 10 seconds. But what happens if that happens? A big question for me.
Well, I think that when we renegotiate the contract, that we need to make it understood that we don't want them to do work that we can't pay for. You know, so I think that things stop when, you know, we don't have money.
Okay,
I don't know how else to get.
But hopefully phase one will be able to be completed with the money we now have,
I
plus the
believe so.
supplemental money that we know is available.
I think so, because inside of the library, there's not that much that has to be fixed before we can open. And we've got some painting and some drywall and we have to put in a bathroom. But it was functional. You know, when we moved it, it was basically functional. So
Right.
there's not huge amounts of expense to be able to open that building.
Do you have a heating system now?
Okay.
Heating system?
We do have to work on that. We do have the old heater still. And it was in good working condition when we took it out.
Huh.
So we could put it back in for a while. You know,
were some of these funds in the library's bank accounts and not the town's?
Yeah.
We just gotta make sure timing wise that happens. Library treasurer or board, however they handle funds, needs to hand them over to Rosemary. So she can use them.
yeah, I got numbers from Suzanne on treasure.
What's the water wheel?
Oh, it's somebody that made a donation for furniture.
Okay.
And yeah, but they specified that that's what the money had to be spent on. And that money is in our community bank account. But we just keep track of how much is for their donation. So,
They're gonna want the table back.
This
is the library table.
You can have it back if it chops 100,000. It chops $100. I'll give
We could
it.
get the granite steps. And have a table back.
I do appreciate your work. No, it's difficult. I'm not trying to be frustrating.
well, we really love our library. And it is a huge asset to the community. You know, it's just the amount of people that come in and there's just a lot of community connection that goes on through the library. And it's an important asset to our community.
Probably doesn't sound like it, but we love it too. So, sorry for all the sounds, but
But it's.
can we,
Yes, it does cost money to run the library. And when we get finished with our project, I think we'll all look back and feel like it was worth it. Because it's gonna be such a wonderful thing. So,
Next item.
we target next meeting in March for a update?
Yeah, new board, not the first meeting. First meeting's the day before town meeting day.
Yeah, I'll have new news.
It could be a completely different board after town meeting day.
I don't think so.
Really?
Not likely, not likely.
You could have a pretty thorough writing campaign, need somebody that's on the ballot.
Challenge accepted.
Yes,
So not
All right.
March 1st.
after dealing
Probably
with this
not.
library, I
March
wouldn't care if somebody did.
Sure, we'll have maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right,
Probably before that, you have, questions, because I expect within the next week or two, we'll have our committee meeting.
That's on March 16th. Okay.
So we'll be working on all the grant amendments and the contract amendments and all those kind of things.
great. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
John, you got the floor, brownfield assessment.
Yeah, I was working with Tori Helwig from LCPC. They've identified 3 properties. Tori, are you here?
They've been identified a long time ago.
Yeah, but
Tori's on.
we'll just
Can
get,
you hear us, Tori?
Tori, can you hear us?
Right.
Okay.
so we're running significantly late. Can you give us a quick rundown, Cory?
Sure. Back in just brief background to bring us all up to speed, the spring of 2025, the Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation identified and recommended the town's commercial buyout properties to receive phase 1 assessments based on 3 criteria: that they were either past or present industrial or commercial uses, known contaminated properties, or adjacent to hazardous sites. Based on that recommendation, the town worked with LCPC to secure funding to complete phase 1 environmental site assessments. Those were completed and reports were provided in the fall of 2025. The results were that the Union Bank property had no recognized environmental conditions or RECs, and the health center and Sterling Market properties had some RECs identified. Those 2 properties that had RECs identified were recommended to complete phase 2 environmental site assessments. There's funding opportunities available through the LCPC Brownfields program and other state grant funds. There's also a liability protection program called BRELA that the town can enroll in prior to acquiring the properties. That program can provide a town letter certificate of completion and liability protection after completing all the steps. It also provides additional access to state grants and loans. I kind of breezed through that, but the next steps, based on the recommendations from the reports and the recent meeting with Vermont Emergency Management and DEC, are that the town will need to communicate to VEM whether to move forward with closing with the buyout properties. The town will need to decide whether to enroll in the BRELA program and whether to pursue grant funds through the LCPC Brownfields program.
Did you say that last part again?
Sure. So the first next step will be for the town to communicate with VEM whether to move forward with closing on the properties through the buyout process. So that's still a need. Then the town will also need to decide whether, if you're moving forward with the buyouts, to pursue BRELA enrollment. So enrolling in that environmental liability protection program through the state. And then if you're interested in moving forward with the phase 2 and funding for this work, whether you'd be interested in requesting grant funds through the LCPC Brownfields program.
Now, Tori, when you and I talked, you mentioned that Sterling Market and the Health Center do qualify for BRELA because the phase 1 Brownfield did detect some issues on those property, but Union Bank did not.
Correct. That was the conclusion of DEC, since there were no wrecks identified at that property, that it would not be eligible to enroll umbrella. After that meeting, LCPC reached out to get a cost estimate for what it would cost to assess the site for some of the business environmental risks that are potentially there. And there is some funding available through the LCPC EPA grant that would be able to cover that work. There's also a community development block grant through the Two Rivers Ottaquechee Regional Commission that may be able to pay for that type of assessment, and any future flood mitigation projects might also be able to pay for something like that too. So although the town wouldn't be eligible to enroll umbrella for that particular property, there are funding avenues for assessing the site if needed.
Lori, this is Paul. Reading the summary here, it sounds like we would decide whether to enroll umbrella after the phase 2 work is completed. Am I reading that correctly?
That was one approach that Vermont DEC recommended in filling out the application as a draft and working on the phase 2 and then enrolling depending on those outcomes. It would be worth participating in a pre-application meeting for the umbrella enrollment just to talk through that further with DEC, but the timing of that and what that would look like.
Thank you.
Maybe I'm confused. I thought when we talked about these, specifically the two properties on the south side of Route 15, that brownfields assessment would be done and cleanup would be done and before the town accepted the properties, so they wouldn't be, I want to say encumbered by brownfields, but that might be the wrong word. Feel like that was a question, but maybe not a very good one. So we don't really need to have any involvement other than this state should continue and do the brownfields cleanup.
Tori, can you hear the conversation?
Yes. And just to clarify a little bit, like the phase 1 site assessment was essentially background research and a desktop assessment to identify whether any environmental conditions exist, like could be present, but a phase 2 would actually complete the testing to confirm what is there. So there's nothing that's been identified currently that what will need to be cleaned up. But
so what needs to be done to identify that?
The phase 2 site assessment would actually like do the testing and take samples and measure what is or is not there.
Understood. How do we get that?
You can apply to receive grant funding through the LCPC Brownfields program.
But we don't own them. Why would we apply?
Because the town's a prospective purchaser of the properties. So you're interested in purchasing them and.
Not really. You don't want to buy it.
Maybe
You're not telling us that we're ultimately responsible for somebody else's mess, are you?
I don't think so.
It's not letter answers.
Well, the town is not currently liable for any past contamination that may be there.
So LCPC has brownfield assessment dollars, correct?
Yes.
Do you just need a motion from us to approve requesting those dollars be spent on these properties?
That would be one action. yes, that would be helpful to move forward with the next phase of assessments at these properties.
You said one, what's the other action? I'm trying to get directly to the point here.
Another action that is needed is the town's interest in enrolling Umbrella, and whether you're interested in moving forward with closing at the buyout properties, which maybe you're not ready to decide on tonight. But
Umbrella's cost is,
Now, the cost for Brilla for the Sterling Market and the health center, that's going to be covered through LCPC because they found potential for contaminants. Is that correct?
well, those funding that our brownfields program funding can be spent on that after a request is made to the committee to review. So those types of costs are eligible to be reviewed by the committee, and if approved, could be paid for through our grant funds.
I'm gonna take a stab at this and you can stop me.
Okay.
Can I entertain a motion from the board to request LCPC use funding dollars for phase 2 brownfield assessment of whatever those two properties are on this side of Route 15?
Sterling Market and the health center.
I was trying to not use names, but yeah, I think we all know. As well as a request from LCPC to have their brownfields committee review if they can use their grant funds for Brella coverage for the town on those two properties. Is that a good motion, Tori?
Yes.
Second.
So moved.
I guess I made the motion. I was entertaining one.
Oh.
Who wants credit for the second here?
So
I
the
do.
motion is
I think
that you're asking LCPC if their grant funds can be used for umbrella coverage. Do you want it to include that if they can be, you should go ahead and get it? Or would that-
Just need an answer.
Okay.
Just need an answer if they can pay for it, and we're requesting them to do a brownfield phase 2 assessment.
Why aren't property owners paying for this? This is money, wherever it comes from, it's taxpayer money to do this. Why isn't the landowner doing it? Really, I don't get it.
Current landowner probably doesn't want to know the obligation they have. I don't know.
Well, there's potential for millions of dollars for that Sterling Market over there. I would think that the property owner would be doing this instead of taking all of these funds that are coming from somewhere to pay for this. They're the ones that are going to benefit from their sale. Why do we have to do all of this legwork for them? I don't get it.
I'm curious about what was just said for what motion was, because it sounded not quite right when I heard it read back. Phase 2 should definitely happen.
That's part of the motion.
Right, but I did hear that. I just heard umbrella
You did have that, Donna,
Yeah, at phase 2 too.
and then the umbrella.
and then the umbrella request.
Yep.
And Adrian seconded it.
Yep.
Paul was way late to that game. You can put that in minutes.
Way late.
Wait.
All right. Any further discussion on that motion? All those in favor,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
Nay.
Peter, how'd you vote?
I,
The ayes have it. What were you adding there, Scott? We can always make another one.
I was so blown away by how fast things just happened. No, it's basically. There's some hoops to go through to get down this path. But during the phase 2, if they do find contamination that does have. Remediated. Whose cost is that? And is there grant money available? I mean, we're chasing.
That's what I was just starting to say. Same question.
Proffers. Mike does a good point. Sounds like the towns and the taxpayers may be shouldering potentially some of this. When I'm not sure what the benefit is. With the select board, you have the ability to pump the brakes a little bit on this. So after phase 2 is done, contamination is either found, defined, or maybe hopefully there's nothing. I tend to doubt that. The assessment comes in for what's the next thing we have to do according to the state. Does the state require cleanup? And if it does, who's paying for it?
I don't think we have
And
the
I
plan.
haven't heard that question answered.
Tori, do you have the answer for that one?
Grants.
Who pays for the cleanup if cleanup is needed after a phase 2 assessment?
LCPC has funds to pay for everything through corrective action planning. Through our assessment grants. And there's cleanup grants through the state of Vermont and the Two Rivers Ottaquechee Community Development Block Grant disaster recovery funds.
It sounds like another racket to me. You can make a mess and somebody else cleans it up for you on our taxpayer dime and they get off scot-free. That does not make any sense at all to me.
So a follow-up on this. There is grant money apparently, but if you don't get grant money, then we've enrolled in the umbrella program. And, you know, I wouldn't sign a document for transferring that deed until this is all ironed out. What happens if the grant money, I mean, what's the success rate, first of all, for that grant money for smaller towns? Forget it's not clean enough. No, it's not accurate. Because if the grant doesn't come due, who's got to be paying for cleanup?
Right.
If
And
you've
probably,
already signed paperwork saying you're ready to take the deed, that's all on us. That's my concern. That I'm not seeing a lot of very clear, sharp clarity in this conversation, which makes it nervous.
do we need to make a motion to hold? Like, do we have a closing date for these properties?
No. Don't I know?
So who would we need to communicate with? I believe the general consensus of the board is that we would like to see an environmental or a phase 2 brownfield assessment before the town closes on these properties.
Yes, I mean.
Kim?
Just addressing Mike's concern, I'm just wondering, Tori, Mike, or any of you have feedback on how we can make the owners of the said properties responsible for the cleanup of their properties? Has it been done? And how would that, what's the process of getting them to pay for it?
Tori, do you have an answer to that one?
I don't have an answer to that question.
All's on the state. Or the feds. We hope.
But the landowner.
Do we need to make a formal motion on these 2 properties?
Tori, what do you need from the board?
Basically, before we close on these 2 properties because of their phase 1 review, we would like to see the phase 2 results before closing. Is there a person at EM that needs to be notified? These are through 2 different programs. One's through the SWIFT Current grant and one is through the FEMA buyout program.
Yeah. And the Swift Current, the property under the Swift Current program is currently on hold, just with the status of that grant funding being on hold. So there's no action needed specifically for the Sterling Market property tonight. The Union Bank property that didn't have any recs identified would still need to like the town would still need to notify VEM that they're ready to close on that property, and then the town would also need to notify VEM of the health center and whether they'd like to close on that property, those 2. Both of those are through the same type of funding. The Union Bank, again, does not have any RECs, and the health center did have RECs identified and would be one of the properties that would need to receive a phase 2. So that was just an action that the town would need to take, would be notifying VEM of their interest in moving forward with those properties.
So Tori, just to be clear, so the Union Bank did not have any RECs identified, therefore we do not need to do a phase 2 to confirm the results of phase 1, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we could move forward with authorization to purchase, begin that property transfer. Meanwhile, hold off on everything else.
Yes.
Do you need anything
And
else?
being that we don't own the health center property yet, do you need property owner's permission to do the phase 2? I would assume that would involve sampling and.
Yes, and we currently have all of the current property owners' permission to participate in the LCPC Brownfields program and provide site access.
Of course they were, they don't have to pay for it, right?
Do you need anything from us, John? I think
Probably just to go forward with the bank, where that one doesn't need any further work.
anybody have issues with moving forward with the bank? Getting no. Well, you're good.
This whole thing disgusts me.
Mike just has issues. It's not with the bank. It's just issues.
Well, I think Mike's got a good point. It's taxpayer money. The health center would be problematic because there's been a series of owners over the time that all probably contributed to whatever's there. That'd be a mess.
Oh, yes, and they bought a mess,
Yeah.
and now somebody else gonna clean it up for them. It's a real racket too.
It's kind of like the town garage. All right, let's move on.
Thank you, Tori.
Next up is review and considering approve a rail trail lease agreement. I believe Carl did a pretty good write-up. And there are sections that him and the rail trail don't love, but the general consensus
Carl's here with us tonight.
is that we vote to approve the rail trail lease agreement between the State Agency of Transportation and the town, LVRT, the 5057, and authorize somebody to sign it. I get you want to add anything to that, Carl, or is that pretty good?
I don't need to add anything. If there are any questions from the board members, or if you want me to provide any very, very quick background for the viewers, I could do something.
I think we're.
Carl, I really enjoyed part of your first paragraph. It said the state owns a 66-foot wide right of way for the Lamar Rail Trail. The trail is a banked rail line, meaning it could be reestablished as an active railroad at some time in the future, although very unlikely. You know, I'm glad you pointed it out. That was just a scam by the state of Vermont, so they didn't have to give their land back to the property owners that the railroad went through many years ago. It's another case of state overreach, but that's another point all in itself.
I'll make the motion to approve the lease.
Before you do, Carl, I had a quick question. With the lineouts, that seems like a really odd way to formalize a legal document. None of them are initial dated. This just seems really half-assed, pardon my French.
I think it was full.
Not on your part, and on the state's part. So I'm just curious. I know you went over this with Doug. From an attorney's perspective, he's okay with that?
No, that's why he feels that this document is less than ideal. But the state has to use this template at many locations. And I guess they don't want to lose track of the master document. So rather than deleting sections like I guess the whole section about, the
Rental.
rent. That's number 3, Article 3. They want to leave that in there and just cross it out so that if somebody from the state staff pulls up this document to use it in the next case, they have the full template there in front of them. And I understand where you're coming from. It does not seem like the best way of doing it, but they, I guess, have to look at their overall, their whole picture, and using this in many locations, and every case is a little bit different.
Gotta be from.
But you've made a good point, Paul. I could ask about initialing and dating these sections that are crossed out. And I was also thinking that, expecting a question from one of you, that we could ask if the town clerk can waive the recording fee so they don't have to cut a check to the town and then have the town turn around and cut a check to the state to reimburse them for the recording fees.
But we don't reimburse them at all.
Can we charge them double?
They want a deal from us, but we have to pay for it.
Is it reasonable for us to make a motion that we pass this and authorize somebody to sign it and then just initial and date the crossed out sections and just be done with it?
Yes, you could add that to the motion to make that request, and then we can see if they'll agree to it.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
With Carl signing it.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to, Evan, do you think you or John should sign it?
I can. Make the motion.
Do we accept this lease agreement as submitted with stipulation that the crossed out sections be initial and dated, and that Evan, the chair, be authorized to sign it?
All right, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. You wanna take the next one? Rosemary, are you okay with not charging the state?
It's town money, it's not mine.
We just have to write it back to them anyways.
The state will pay the recording fee, but requires the town to reimburse. Yeah, that's real clever, isn't it? It's to their benefit.
We strike out the second
Don't have to pay for
being
it.
back to on child support. The town might get back to on child support. All right, Adrian, take the next one. You're good.
So the line is inclement weather protocol for municipal office. So we had that big storm, or fairly good storm recently. And I noticed that like Morrisville and some other towns had closed their municipal office when it was so snowy, like it was pretty snowy. And I don't know what their protocol is. I think that a lot of municipal offices might go off of if their school near them closes maybe, or I'm not sure what the protocol is. And I'm curious if we have any protocol for inclement weather for closing office.
I couldn't find it. Rosemary, do you know of any? No.
No written policy.
Okay. Cause I just want to make sure our employees are safe and aren't trying to get here in severe weather if not necessary.
Our road crew gets the roads pretty well cleaned up. We probably need to come to the office.
So since we don't have anything, would we want to kind of go off of what the elementary school does when they close our municipal office?
Just no.
Huh?
They close on it, just no.
We've never had anybody,
Do they close really often?
once a week.
They want everyone to be doing the same thing, you know, they have 6 towns going to the high school, so they may close if a couple of the towns have dangerous conditions, even if they all don't.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I've done is I've always, told the employees, if you think the roads are bad, don't come in. I mean, that's not worth putting yourself at risk. I know, Lydia lives on Railroad Street. She's pretty close to the office.
Mhm.
I'm pretty close to the office. I mean, and when the weather's really bad, we don't get a lot of people coming in.
Mhm.
I mean, it would be up to the board if they wanted to do a policy. The other thing is that if the office gets closed, for whatever reason, for the weather, should be employees get paid.
Right.
Because, if they're ready to come to work and we tell them to stay. But, my policy has been, if you really think the roads are bad, just call, let me know.
Yeah, I think it's harder since
Yep.
we have village employees and town employees and shared employees. So we don't have like a clear oh, the town manager is my boss, and they tell me, don't come in when,
Right.
I mean, it's not like we don't have a clear line like that at this moment. So that's hard, just calling that out. Kim?
I was just thinking that not having a policy about it lends to more flexibility and for people to do the right thing. Just to me, it seems like if it's been working, it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, typically if it's really bad and, the town office should be closed, I would reach out to the board and say, hey, due to the upcoming snowstorm or, the weather says we get something really bad coming in at 2, I'd like to let the employees go at 11. And then maybe we put something out on Facebook, put something out, the way we'd advertise and kind of get the word out that way.
Okay. Has there been any issue with people getting here in bad weather or anything?
It's more going home.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll call the highway department, say, tell us when a certain road is getting plowed, so we know when's a good time to go home.
Okay.
So if I like
doing that too.
I like your approach of don't risk your life.
Right.
I would just hope that if we're calling it or if we're giving somebody permission to exercise their judgment, that they're also getting paid.
That would be a board decision. I mean, if they use, if they call it, should they use their time? If we call it, should we pay them?
I guess if they call it their choice, if we call it, we should pay it. That's
that's the way I've used it and it's worked.
Your public servants get to work, period.
The only time that I really remember closing the office was that Valentine's Day storm several years ago.
Several.
You had something, Scott?
20 years ago?
I used to do this with my old staff.
Seems
So I knew there was gonna be a really bad weather event. I would call my staff, and say, bring work home. And if you feel you can't get to work tomorrow, work at home, but it was work, it's not get back and watch the tube all day. It was like, bring work home, have it. And if the day was ending on a bad note, sending people out, still, miss a little bit of that, but it was manager's discretion. We never had any issues. There wasn't a written policy. It was just, the manager doing his best to keep the staff safe. Bring work home. Might be a really bad, nasty, icy day tomorrow, but it worked fine for years.
Might have missed what the ask was.
You keep this.
Might have missed what the ask was.
This kind of stuff.
I was just calling out that the last storm we had with a lot of snow, Morrisville put out that they were closing their town office. So I was just asking if we had a protocol for when snow is really bad, who makes that judgment call and how that happens.
Rosemary makes the call. And I stand behind it.
We can make that.
When I worked for Morrisville, if I had a snowshoe event, I would do that. And that was, period. Go to work for crying out loud.
Cool.
I think
I mean,
that's a
I
good point, but it might be a better conversation after we've talked about reorganizing employees and whatnot. So
Okay.
some sort of chain of command.
I was thinking there could be something we could pin it against like the elementary school, but if they're calling off really frequently, then that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I thought there might be something easy to do, but.
You guys would get another 20 or 30 holidays.
There you go, yeah. We got bigger fish to fry than this. Mr.
We could
Chairman.
beat the village.
What's that?
We could beat the village.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's, that would be another thing, that if an employee is, 60-40 town versus village, and we send them home, but the village needs them to do something. I mean,
And they,
And for me, we at least have to be cognizant, because if we went down this road, the expectation is that our office staff might get the day off paid. Our expectation on the other side is that the highway staff will show up to work and clear the roads. So we're not even really being fair to all of our employees.
Mhm.
that's an excellent point, Mr. Chairman. Why don't we end with that and move on?
Bring it back up. No, I'm just saying we gotta be fair somehow.
I mean, my thought process, like I said, if somebody came to me and said, I don't want to come in, I can't come in today because the roads are bad, or, I'm not comfortable driving in, then, I'll see you tomorrow.
We heard that
Yeah.
already, John.
Okay.
Why don't we move on, Mr. Chairman? Really?
Has
I think we
every,
beat a dead horse here.
they opened at 10, by the way, Morrisville.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't close for the whole day. They just delayed opening.
Mhm. Well, we can come back to protocol after we figure out an employee flow chart.
Yeah.
I'll move the table it.
And if Mike says it, it go. So next up, employee flow chart.
No, increasing town involvement in public office.
I just tied together some.
Yeah.
I believe you asked for this one.
Yeah, I was just like, I really appreciate my fellow board members running again. Some of them may not have wanted to run again, but felt inclined since it was kind of no one else, empty, no one else really running. So I reached out on Facebook and Front Porch Forum, kind of posing the question to the community, why is there like low involvement? Some of the responses I got back, length of meetings, that you should cut off board members once they've made their point. Move to a town manager. These are like solutions and just comments in general, but program for teaching residents Robert's laws and other relevant relevancy to like knowing how to be in public office. Merging the town and village to increase the pool of candidates. Term limits on board members. Not a welcoming space, that we don't have a welcoming space. People wanting to make positive change have been shut down in harsh ways in the past, and others have seen that and don't want to put their neck on the line, I guess. Demonized by other board members for having differing opinions. And another suggestion was to move to a monthly meeting. One thing I'll add to the list of comments I got is I kind of think that we've had low involvement in our committees. And because of that, those newer people that are coming to committees and like getting their feet wet in that, and then learning that we have a select board, that step isn't happening for them to move on to a select board after, because we've had low involvement in committees. So that's one thing I'll add to it, but I don't know if there's anything we can do about this issue right now, but I just want to discuss it and see if anyone, other board members have any thoughts.
You've identified the problem correctly. We just maybe need to get some young people involved in all aspects, committees and whatnot.
you possibly overlooked somebody, but somebody texted me today actually and said that they thought they had written a very thoughtful email to you and you never responded to them.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to all the emails yet. I've gotten quite a few.
Okay.
But
Well, maybe I'll tell them that you'll probably get to it.
yeah, I'm going to email back everyone. Mhm.
So you get the response from Facebook or?
Facebook comments on my post and then Front Porch Forum emails through Front Porch Forum. Yeah. So.
It's nice you guys like that response.
Mhm.
It's encouraging that people want to write something. It's not easy.
Mhm.
I don't know what else to say, right? Let's double our pay and half our work. We'll get more
Increasing the
people
pay
out there.
might help us a little bit.
It probably would, but we don't set that.
Yeah, no. We're not like Washington. Vermont, but it-
Kim, you had something?
I just want to thank you because I know that it seems like a very unthanked job. And for those of you that are running shed, had your reservations, I appreciate it. I appreciate the knowledge, especially of the representatives who acknowledge that there are people who have fixed incomes and that has really cool ideas and love that the finances need to be figured out before the yes comes, so that people who want to still stay here can. And so that's all I want to have.
I wonder if there's a way to get more involvement. I don't know how I'll the answer. Not yet. But if there's like some good content and you could share those, you don't have to give any names, just like,
Good what?
like good content in the emails or something. Could you like
Oh.
copy paste or something? You don't have to
Oh,
give
I read out.
to-
I read out all the ideas and pointing out of problems. That's what I read out, but.
Yeah, you could send that around, for me to be able to think about it, see, is there something we could do to address?
Well, I don't want to expose their,
That's why.
No, that's what
I said copy and paste.
Oh.
Stick on that.
Anonymous.
sure.
No name,
Yeah.
just comments.
You know,
do that.
one comment here, Adrian, you had select board doesn't require special credentials or experience. Well,
Mhm.
you don't have to have special credentials, but experience certainly doesn't hurt.
No, I
You
didn't.
know, and really, who wants a kid right out of high school on the board? I mean, granted, it is going to give them something on their shingle or something on their resume, but it really helps to have institutional knowledge, knowledge of your community, knowledge of the people in your community, and things of that nature. I mean, we shouldn't look just for people for the sake of putting people on the board. We need to have people that have experience. I
Yeah.
think.
I definitely agree. But I was just pointing out, like, if anyone's running for president, they have to be a certain age. I'm just stating the fact you don't have to have any experience.
Yeah.
Like, because some people might misunderstand, oh, I need to have a poli-science degree to run for select board. Who knows what people's assumptions are, you know? But I'm just pointing out, you don't actually need any certificates or training or anything. You can be a contractor, you can be like, you know, I'm just trying to open the pool to people to know that they have a chance to be on our select board.
I think it's worth having ongoing conversation. I mean, I don't think we have any solutions tonight, but civic involvement in general, select board, town committees, fire department, whatever. I think the question is a good one. How do we encourage more involvement? Kim and I were talking about this after your post, and you know, she said maybe we could maybe one thing would be to think at the end of every meeting, what is it we should share from what we did tonight? What should we make a point of putting out there? I mean, anybody can come and read our minutes and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But you know, are there things that come along? Well, like Carl's article for Holmes Meadow. You know, people are interested. They wonder what's going on. Great, great to put out something like that.
Yeah, like some press release type, like
Yeah.
just like updates and.
Yeah.
I like that, and I'm thinking about Jasmine, who gives her blurb for Johnson and just to tack on, select board highlights or whatever. People are wondering what's going on, why are they digging up the field over there? And I don't know if everybody knows what's going on in Homestead, but just, that's a great example. And I think like something like having a training for Robert's rules for, town-wide, anybody interested in it, how things are, and people who might want to moderate, people who might want to feel more a part of the village and or the town governments and be able to be in sync with, oh, they need to do it this way. I don't know. Our open book was all the things that you guys eventually have under your hat that people who might want to be on board. I don't know enough about this.
Right. Is the board opposed to me reaching out to VLCT to see if they offer that for free?
They offer all kinds of training.
But would they like come? I want to ask if they would come here and
It's
do
not gonna
that.
be for free. They're
Okay.
gonna charge us. As a member, we probably get a discount.
But it's okay if I reach out and ask?
A list of what's available would hurt to know.
Okay.
And you can really boil down Robert's rules in terms of what's needed on committees on a board like this. It's a pretty thick book otherwise.
Yeah.
But those basics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, now employee flow chart,
Sure.
just make it a requirement.
Yeah.
Something.
You think that'd be like in your civics class or something? History?
So this is the current flow chart. Have you seen these? Everybody seen these?
Yep.
Here are three options. It's kind of revisited, as we talked about it a little bit over the past year. And with Rosemary's retirement, we're gonna need to consider quite a few things, whether we stay or not.
Yeah, like I called out in the email, this is under the assumption that we would split from the village. And what was the other thing?
You
We
said
can't
that you
assume
were.
anything if we're gonna split from the village, Adrian.
Can I just.
Shared employees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the
Oh, I
shared
get it.
services.
Can we split from them all away? Is that an option?
I thought in your email you said your second assumption was you eliminated the second
Yeah,
assistant town clerk
right.
treasurer position.
Mhm.
It's on,
No,
well, so on the current one, first of all, animal control, is that currently under the town administrator? That's where it's shown, but I didn't think it was.
It kind of is because we changed the job descriptions,
Okay, kind of is.
kind of. Then we said
That's the dotted line, John.
the dotted line.
Okay, enough of that.
What happened here? Well, I thought we had discussed and decided a while back that there was gonna be the select board, the town administrator, and then everybody else underneath him. What happened to that?
I don't know if we ever actually formally
Discuss
said
that
that.
that might have been in Carrie Johnson's report, but we didn't vote to accept.
It wasn't Gary's.
Well, I thought that was the best one of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
What program did you use?
This is Figma. It's a design program.
The design program. I don't have anything like that. And I was really struggling in Word to try to create another one. Option 4.
You copy pasting.
Yeah. I really do feel that we would be well served by having a flow chart that has the select board, the town administrator, and then the current CDS, road foreman, town clerk and treasurer, and all the associated pieces. I don't want to say under the town administrator, because I don't think of it as an authority thing, but more as a coordination thing.
Overview.
And overview that, you know, all these folks, hopefully we have competent employees. I think we do. They know what their job is. They do it. But I don't need to say it a second time. I think we'd be well served by having a more coordinated approach and not splitting things up.
Same here. And that's kind of what I thought we'd talked about before, but evidently it was not firmed up. But I thought that during that discussion, there were a number of people that thought that was the best approach. And I still do. That you, just like you said, Peter, select board, town administrator, everybody else underneath the town administrator.
Personally, I think that just having everyone under the town administrator can lead to issues with it not being with it being kind of concentrated in structure, where we're not hearing from our town clerk treasurers often, or our CDS, or I don't know. I could see it leading to issues in a bottleneck.
I see just the opposite, to tell you the truth, Adrian. I see somebody who may balk at that, a certain, let's say, suggestion or order and say, well, you know, I don't work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Go pound sand.
I think it'd be different if we had a town manager versus a town administrator.
I think a town administrator could do similar things and be just as responsible.
And I guess, you know, we should still have some way of making sure we get to hear from some of these, you know, significant roles here. You know, so we're not in the dark.
I think it's also setting we're the boss, right, of these people. We're at the very top. If the CDS and the road foreman get in some argument or whatever, or have some kind of issue or whatever, who do they go to report that issue? Do they go straight up to the select board? Like, where this chart is telling us that. And this chart is also telling who has firing power or disciplinary power. I think that's also something to consider.
I think maybe it would help if we think about John's role, and it's sort of an executional role, right? Get stuff done, right? You're the administrator, your job is to make stuff happen. So it makes sense to me that Public Works is supervisor is directly under John. It makes sense to me that animal control is directly under John. It makes sense to me that town clerk is directly under John. I've read, and I'm not 100% sure about the treasurer portion. I've heard arguments that the treasurer should report directly to the select board, so you're hearing things unfiltered matters of finance. I'm not sure about that. But where I was going is I'm not sure that CEDS and the committees and all that kind of stuff should fall under that same category, because that's less get stuff done and more development oriented. And I don't know if that's something we signed John up for. So I see the CEDS as a little bit of a different role. Maybe the committee's dribbling under that role. But it's awkward. I did try to make one word and I'm more successful.
You had more success than I did. Yes.
I said if you had one you wanted me to create, I would.
Well, I did it today.
You ever use what do they call those? For story times, those felt boards, you know, and you have to. I was thinking it'd be great if we had all these positions
Yeah,
And we could just spend some time moving them around.
well, we can write them on Post-its and do that. Yeah.
John, Rosemary, have
There
you
is
guys
software that does that.
reviewed any of these?
Yeah.
Pros or cons?
I've got no issue either way. I think, if the board wants reports, I know the treasurer, Rosemary, gives her reports and we get reports from Carl. Whether or not they go through me or they go directly through the board, I'm good either way. The same thing with the road crew. If Jason needs something, he can go through me or he can go through the board, whichever way the board wants.
I wish people could speak up a little bit around here.
Okay.
Rosemary? What are your thoughts?
On all of them or in general?
I mean, I guess in general or on all of them. I think this is a larger conversation about preparing for your retirement, and I believe that the village will be looking for an accountant, and it'll kind of change all of the inner roles, so maybe they need to be split. You're not saying anything, so
I disagreed with what you said.
I asked what your opinion was. You've given me nothing.
Well, I know on option 3, I don't see the animal control officer being that role. For it.
Yeah, probably not.
Agreed.
Like Peter said, we need an option 4.
Okay,
And
send
that
it to
was
me.
the option that
It's
the
just Tina.
person that did the study for us came up with her final one, which would have been option 4.
And then I don't think the assessor should be in the town clerk or treasurer.
Kind of its own little animal.
I was in the middle of a yawn. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I don't think the assessor position should be under the town clerk or treasurer.
Yeah.
So like Mike said, I feel like
So who should the
This.
assessor be under? Town administrator or the select board?
Either or.
That's not helpful.
You said assessor should be under town administrator?
yeah.
Does anybody happen to have on their computer or that study done by that lady? Or the one that did?
Her recommendation was to just move it all into the town administrator.
Right,
However,
but
it's
then there was
there.
subs underneath of it. And I'm just curious how those were broken down. Or there weren't any subs.
I think so.
They were just all straight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this makes room for a larger conversation of part of that report recommended that we don't need a full-time CEDS. Not really advocating one way or another, but
Let's figure this out first.
deal.
What'd she say?
She said, let's figure this one out before we start cutting blobs.
So we're gonna move on to the next one then.
No. No.
No,
So can we agree that
Option-
public works, animal control, town clerk, and assessor are all under the town administrator?
Public,
yeah, option 4 is.
We're gonna try to get to the conclusion of this tonight.
No, we're just,
well, I'd like to come for a final draft next time.
option 4 would be assessor under the TA,
Okay,
and then like equal, but together.
yeah, they're both report to the select board, so.
I think that's what option 4 is. Either that or it's that line.
Why?
I think that's what Mike's option 4 is.
Oh,
That's your option before that makes him in charge of everything.
We're probably gonna need to redo job descriptions as part of this.
They're not
Town
that big.
administrator, you got.
Well, you.
Town
4 or 5
administrator-
years.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was just seeing.
Yeah.
It's like half my age.
Town administrator.
So it's not.
Do you want-
Public works,
town administrator at the
animal
top.
control, and town clerk.
It makes sense to me.
Okay,
These
I still worry about
CDS separate.
potential workload on CEDS, but it hasn't turned out to be the same.
Send that to Peter, see what he thinks of it.
Hasn't been the same as we were worried about.
Maybe get a.
You know, and we were worried about committees just eating them all the time,
There might be
Mhm,
something
but it
else.
hasn't really come to fruition that way.
mhm.
I could live with that one.
Just a,
You could too, cause you.
Or do you want Paul's?
Statute committees. You added committees to this.
I did, so just ignore the left side, but they're part of the thinking and how this ought to work.
Oh, but you added the committees here too.
Well, I only under rec, but I wasn't sure whether rec. Currently, the recreation coordinator is under the
Yeah,
town
CEDS
administrator,
moved over here.
but if we had a CEDS, I'm not sure that would continue to be the case.
Pretty much. The committees,
Sorry, I didn't send that around. I'm happy to send it to everybody. All right.
I feel like we should put this on camera.
You said earlier,
I'm not gonna judge your word.
Mr. Chairman, you said earlier to get rid of the community economic developer. Is that what you said?
No.
I didn't say I was advocating for it. I said that's part of the larger conversation.
It is, and I meant what I said the other night about John's experience with economic development. He could possibly fill that role.
The way it's being used now.
Yeah. We could give him a little increase in pay, have him assume that position.
You're really spending money tonight like crazy.
Listen,
Granted,
listen.
steps, raises,
No, listen, in the long
more
run,
vacation.
in the long run, what we're paying,
Why can't we
For the-
have
for
rec
the
coordinator under
developers.
CEDS?
we could give half of it to John, he'd be happy.
Why can't we have rec coordinator under CEDS?
I think I have in both places. If we had. I wasn't sure what to do with that coordinator. I think ultimately it probably would be over there with the rest of the committees. It's the recreation committee. That would make sense to me.
But CEDS is for economic development.
Yeah.
The functions of running rec are really just running a town. Growing rec is economic development. I'm not arguing that, but just getting the ball fields mowed or, you know, needing to get prices on new goals or whatever.
But it's also,
That is a waste of CEDS.
well, I think CEDS
Yeah.
in this is
$60 an hour.
our main line to communication with the committees. And that includes recreation with our rec coordinator. So that all flows together in my opinion.
Well, obviously, all these are gonna flow together. I mean, you're right, that's. Green space has gotta work with conservation and all that kind of stuff, but. I think that's right. Somebody's gotta line the fields, you gotta get them mowed, you gotta fix the goalposts that are broken. That's just. Get it done stuff. So I think in that respect, that kind of makes sense to have it under there, but. I think the committees over on the right, which we're not really talking about, I realize, but that's all. Growth and development kind of oriented stuff.
I mean, in general, to me, any committee normal yearly function is operation of town. So, you know, the arboretum. The tree board doing work at the arboretum or wanting help with a shade tree prevention policy or anything like that, it's normal operation of the town. The tree board. I'm sorry if I'm picking on the tree board. You know, wanting the town to purchase a 100-acre lot of wooded forest out on Sweetser Lane. For another town park, that they could have a parking space and pavilion and all that stuff is kind of like that grant is economic development. As soon as it's done, it's just operation of the town.
This.
You really had to add the committees in, didn't you? All through the rest of the works.
I had around. Where everybody else belonged, yeah.
I feel like CEDS is a valuable asset to committees.
Oh, there you go. Is that a Venn diagram?
No, it's called a nexus. It's actually a thing.
That's
And,
our organizational flow chart. Yeah.
Well, then we can have that option for the next time with the one that.
Can we leave committees out and just get employee flow chart?
Yeah, just ignore the right-hand side.
Yeah. So if you get the committees out, is Paul's gonna kind of address it, what you and I were thinking about?
yeah, I think so.
I would like to know if there's any downfall to not having the town clerk, town treasurer just report straight to us.
I think as long as, you know, if there's reports and whatever needed for grants or, you know, as long as they're being pulled and working together, I'm not personally tied to either way. All our employees have to work together
Yeah.
for the common good. I'm fine with this as long as, you know, assessor moves.
Mhm.
What are you pointing at?
Option 2,
Up to doing what?
the assessor really doesn't need to report to a town clerk or treasurer. Not trying to sell you short here, Rosemary. Everybody can report to Rosemary.
When you think about it more as like departments, option 3 kind of makes like the most sense because like CEDS is, to me, is like Parks and Rec Department, and like Community Outreach Department. Town Administrator Department is just like the administration of like municipal office needs. And then like Road Foreman is Public Works and everything else. But I don't know. Thinking of it more of a department's way with option 3.
I see what you were doing with that now. I was wondering why animal control where it was, but
Yeah.
Well, then we're not gonna have an assistant, right? So
assistant what?
No, we aren't gonna have the assistant. We're not gonna have the other assistant.
Right
now.
We have an
Okay,
assistant
okay,
clerk
okay,
treasurer
okay,
and
okay, got it.
an admin clerk.
Yeah. Something, I don't know.
We
It's
agreed
confusing.
animal control shouldn't be under the road.
Huh?
We agreed that animal control is not under the road foreman.
I don't, but that's fine.
I definitely agree with Paul now.
Okay.
You know, and maybe, guess I see this kind of a chart as more of an organizational chart. With the flow being something different. I think, you know, somehow we have to have an organizational structure that encourages and facilitates communication and working together. So I don't see this necessarily as a top-down kind of thing. It's just a means of organization. I think it would be perfectly appropriate for us to, make it a regular habit of hearing directly from some of these folks, even if on an organization chart,
Sure, we just have to set up the structure for that with a schedule of every 3rd month this person comes, or, have a system in place. I don't know.
it's good stuff to,
I'd be fine with this, with the assessment.
Option 2, but the assessor moves.
Yeah. All of us are fine with a different version.
Mhm. I know my top choice would be option 1.
I still don't understand a rec coordinator being under CEDS. I get what you're doing, but in my mind, it's growth, sustain. You know what I mean?
Well, isn't our rec coordinator supposed to be like getting us grants and stuff? Or not getting us grants, but like bringing in income from programming and things. And that's growing our rec department,
It's barely sustaining it.
but isn't it supposed to be?
It's supposed to pay for the programs.
Mm-hmm. And increase recreation. What's the role of the rec coordinator? To sustain what we already have in place? That's what you're saying?
Pretty much. I don't see much growth.
But don't we want growth?
I'm not discouraging it. I'm just. It's a difficult situation.
Why?
Lois is asking a good question. Where's the library staff on the chart?
Technically speaking, the library hires their own employees. Sets rates of pay.
They're on my chart, but I forget where I put them.
Yeah, but statutorily, I believe that this is a public library structure. They could just sever the cord 100% with the town and go in front of the voters for their own budget.
I don't see them on your chart. You hate them.
I just
I think that's all part of that whole business. Or something. Look at to me.
I like yours, Paul, but the only thing I want is rec coordinator under CEDS. That's the only change, like, that's the main change I would make. But I would succeed to yours.
Well. I don't like.
I think there'd be a lot of coordination with the CEDS. I don't know. I'm not sure I agree. It's hard to
Is that
sort of throw my head.
They don't interact now.
or something?
Well, that's part of what we're trying to fix. Exactly. Your question, Evan, a minute ago, what's the job of the rec coordinator? That's a good example where we haven't really defined things. It's hard to know. All of these roles have multiple hats.
Mhm.
And a big part of the rec coordinator's job is just keeping youth sports and all that stuff rolling, right?
Mhm.
Because mainly right now, because they don't have a committee to rely on. So it's Isabel.
Right.
Load.
But I guess my thing is if we will have a committee someday and CEDS will be in close relationship with them and the rec coordinator once we have a thriving rec committee.
Excuse me, board members, I have to leave.
See you in March.
Well, I guess I'm gonna be here in February. I don't leave till the 20th.
Oh,
Well, we're rescheduling our meeting on the 16th.
The 15th?
Maybe that's a Sunday.
Wait first.
No, don't leave till the 20th.
Might reschedule it for the 21st.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be even better.
so what do we do
See you, Mike.
here?
That'd be
We
actually,
all have
Okay.
different opinions.
to listen to the library again.
I think organizationally, it's easier to have the board flow down to one and then step out.
But what if our TA is really mean and doesn't tell us problems that are below?
I mean, like any scenario you build, you could make it Swiss cheese situationally dependent, right? We wouldn't even be having this conversation if we didn't have questions in the past.
The other thing is that, going with Adrian's question, is that if there's an issue with the town administrator, then, the road foreman or the clerk, treasurer, the assessor, they could always access the board and say, hey, I talked to John, he's not responsive, here's my issue.
Mhm.
Could you talk to John on my behalf?
So they would have to reach out to us separately somehow, like through email or phone to set that up.
Well, they would.
Because they wouldn't want to come to an open meeting and openly say you weren't passing on information or, speak ill about you.
Well, say, Jason's got an issue with me. And, he could talk to one of the board members. The board member could request an executive session and say, hey, look, John, we have this issue with this employee. this is what's going on. Here my side, here Jason's side. I mean, you know, Jason could even attend a meeting or he could meet with the board separately.
Mhm.
And then the board could decide how they want to proceed.
Yeah,
I mean, so you have that checks and balances because I report to you guys.
yeah. I guess I just like the idea of another checks and balance in case
We could have a policy.
they don't understand the system of,
Unfortunately, it said like if you're displeased with your superior, here's how you contact.
right.
You send an email or phone call to the board chair.
Is there anything in the personnel policy like that?
I think there is, there's gotta be.
It's been a long time since I've looked at those sections.
Mm,
It was what,
Yeah.
2003 when I was last done.
Something in there, but
There's gotta be something.
Yeah.
mhm.
And there's a conflict of interest policy, and didn't we pass a policy in 2023 for whistleblowing?
Okay.
Did we call it that? No.
so is it important for the town clerk to report directly to the select board?
It could be.
That's a
It's
yes.
an example of something that you would want to relay to us unfiltered.
It'd be more the treasurer than the clerk.
Well, that's why, that's what I was asking. Yeah,
More treasurer.
I would think so too.
And I would think the treasurer would be at every select board meeting.
We don't know yet.
You're paying that person.
Huh?
You're paying that person then every time. Maybe every other select board meeting.
I mean, the important thing, and then that rule would be, you know, if you have questions on the warrants,
Right.
why are we paying this? Why are we paying that? Then the treasurer would be there to answer those questions.
And if we could get in a cadence of getting like the reports ahead of time, we
Yeah.
know what we're looking for.
Mhm.
Maybe we could avert those questions before a meeting. I don't know if we answered the questions.
As far as I got. This after.
So it sounds like we've agreed that under the town administrator, I think, is the road foreman, animal control,
The assessor.
and the assessor. We haven't really agreed necessarily where the rec coordinator goes
TA.
or where the town clerk treasurer goes. Is
Us.
that accurate?
Paul, do you think CEDS should go to the select board or to the town administrator?
Select board.
To the select board. Peter, do you think the CEDS should report to the town administrator or the select board?
Organizationally, I think town administrator.
Okay,
I know you wouldn't let me down.
and you, Evan?
Same.
Okay. So
You
that's,
say same
Yeah.
and then
as who?
Peter.
that's Peter.
Hmm.
And Mike thinks everyone should go to town administrator, so that's 3 on that one. So we're down to option 2.
Yeah. Looks perfect with the assessor moved.
Okay. Any thoughts, Paul?
So moving the assessor over to the, under the town administrator.
Mm-hmm. Didn't turn the fan.
And turn on that.
What's, somebody clarify me, what's the advantage of adding to John's burden by having CEDS report to him? Why is that a good idea?
Say again?
What's the advantage? Why are we adding to John's workload by having the CEDS report to him?
Again, it all depends on the employees. If they work well together, it doesn't really matter. If they don't, and one needs help from the other.
Okay, so you're trying to just create a hierarchy in case it's needed.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're doing too?
Yeah. I'm trying to make it easier for employees to know who they report to.
Well, it's pretty clear the line goes here, it goes there. You said, so you're choosing to put it under the town administrator. I'm just asking why. What's the,
I'm not.
I thought you were.
Well, I'm saying that 1, 2, 3.
Three, okay.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I thought you were one.
My buddy right here.
I'm for option 1, but I'm outvoted, so that's fine.
I think it's not so much CDS reporting to the town administrator as it is coordinating with the town administrator.
No, this is a flow chart. This is reporting too. We can do a different organization chart later if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't think we can, if Evan's intent is to create a hierarchy, then that's what we're creating. I mean, I don't think we can mince words about it.
We are the boss. We are like the fireable boss at the end of the day. Like no one gets fired without us, but it's still a hierarchy of reporting.
Right. And I'm not sure I see the rationale for that.
The rationale of having CDS under town administrator.
Right. I see all the other ones. All the other ones make perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
So you'd be fine with 2 as long as CEDS was purple?
Yeah.
So you want option 1,
Option 2.
but
with these.
rec is moved over. Well, one of these two have to concede for you to get your way.
I think we both do. Or you would get behind that?
Rec coordinator moves under here. I just don't like leaving, I also don't like leaving CEDS in a silo by itself. I like having the rec coordinator under there too. They're a little team.
Well, CDS is gonna work with all the committees ideally, and a whole bunch of different stuff. right?
Yeah,
I mean, they don't have, there's no vacuum for them because everything they do is gonna be for somebody else.
true.
Go
That's
ahead.
assuming we keep a CEDS position.
Hmm?
That's assuming we keep a CEDS.
Well,
position.
Or
we want,
particularly if it's a-
3 of us want a CEDS.
Particularly if
about
it's a
you.
part-time CDS, then they're totally dependent on somebody else coming up with stuff.
Mhm.
So we're talking about option 1 with the assessor over here and rec coordinator under the TA.
Yeah,
Is that where we are?
I
yeah,
can get behind that.
okay,
I'll concede.
okay. So vote for option 1 with rec coordinator under town administrator and assessor under town administrator. I'll make a motion.
So have
Second.
we, this assumes that we're splitting the village.
Yes,
Have we voted on that?
I'll
No.
make a motion that we split from the village.
There's already a motion on the floor. Is there a second for the first one?
Well, what was the first one?
Going with option 1, but assessor moved to under town administrator and rec coordinator moved to under town administrator.
Okay, now what about the library question and all that?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Is that different deal?
Yeah, it's a whole different deal.
What?
You heard me.
What library question? We're talking about the $500,000 again?
No,
Huh?
people.
They're not
They're not-
employees.
They're not town employees.
So there's no connection.
We did not interview or hire a new library director.
No, that's true, we did not.
Right.
Okay, I'm just asking, because we're about to rush into a decision here, and I just want to make sure.
It's rushed,
Well,
but
we're
we can
about-
always revise it if something's not working.
Well, yeah, of
Good
course,
with that.
that's not the idea.
I am remembering
Yeah,
very clearly trouble that we had before these folks were on the board with the TA and CDS having no relationship. And that's one of the reasons why I would stick with that position, be under the town administrator.
Understood.
I mean, that really
I know some of the things you're talking about.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, and
So with the benefit of hindsight,
it slowed us down. I mean, it took up time.
okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Mm.
for the benefit of hindsight, would this arrangement have fixed that?
I think so. Well, it would have been clear that one person reported to the other.
It may have led to more problems. It may not have.
Yeah, it depends on the
Am I
individual.
talking like politician for you?
Yeah.
It could have led more
Really-
problems where we weren't getting we were just getting relayed information from one of the employees instead of the opinions of both employees on the situation. So I don't know.
I feel you.
There's a motion on the table.
There is, and it's gonna die without a second. You
So the motion is,
go with one with
we're talking about option 2 or
Option one,
one with the rec coordinator moved and the assessor moved
yes.
under TA.
Mhm.
Is that a second? No second? 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we can discuss it some more.
Is that a second?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're under discussion.
You just got a real problem with that, right?
Yeah, well,
We have to be cognizant.
other than the fact I don't like option 1 the way it stands now. I do feel like we're rushing a little bit here. I mean, we
We gotta make a decision though. We need to hire a CDS.
Yeah.
Carl can't stay here forever.
I'm all for hiring a CEDS and this is the first time we've had a conversation of this extent on this question.
Well, we have had a study done and I've taken surveys from employees on the current flow chart. I don't know. I feel like we've done a lot of legwork already on this.
So my question, following up with Peter, is when do we advertise for the CDS? Because I think Carl's looking to get done in March.
Oh, boy.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. 2027,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
There was a little bit of flexibility in the March thing.
I think he's got some flexibility, but I think he's kind of looking at that time slot there.
Hopefully we'd approve flow chart tonight and then next meeting we'd approve a job posting.
Ideally, but it still leads to a bigger question, but we probably need a CEDS position for a while.
We what?
Probably need a CEDS position for a while.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, as things change and the amount of projects going on and
Oh.
everything in Johnson, maybe we'd be better off like with a grant writer. Or hiring a firm for projects or hiring a planner. To a larger extent than Du Bois and King with Legion Field, but. No. CEDS is planning. And execution on growth.
Mhm.
To me. So like.
Well, it's a different conversation. Like, I feel like we should restructure the role, but it's a separate conversation.
That was the conversation I was saying, do we even need one long term?
Yeah.
It does make it kind of hard to figure out where to put that person if we don't know really what the role is. It kind of muddies the water.
It really sucks being tied to open meeting law, it's back from this conversation, we're post for it. Okay. Option 1. With amendments.
Are we voting?
Who's feeling they need to make a decision tonight?
Well, we were thinking this is the first step before we can go forward with hiring the CDS. Is understanding the flow first.
And having larger conversations about. Job descriptions, Rosemary's retirement, rehiring a CDS.
If we drastically change the CEDS role, we'll adjust the flow chart. I don't know. I guess this isn't set in stone forever, like.
We're gonna carve it in the granite stars.
Where's Mike when you need him?
I'm gonna call it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Me, I'm gonna hold out.
I'm an aye. Sweet, we gotta go.
You what?
I'm an aye,
You're an I.
yes.
Okay, well, we'll adjust if we change CDS.
Do we have
drastically.
time for discussion of creating town revenue?
We can hold it till next time. Unless someone had something pressing.
It's good.
Okay,
I don't want that one to fall off. I
okay.
just feel like we're
John, can you put that on the
And
next agenda? Okay, thank you.
hours.
Sure.
Rescheduling of meetings after executive session, so right now. Entertain a motion to enter into executive session. I don't think that's the right. Isn't it 1 VSA 313A11B?
Well, that's what I thought, was it, for a contract?
It kind of is. I can see where you're going with that.
Works. I mean, it wasn't employee related, it wasn't legal, it wasn't.
Right. The purposes are for reviewing a loan fund
Micro
application.
loan request, yes.
Yeah. Okay,
But we should shut up once we go into executive session.
yeah, we need a motion, and a second.
I'll move.
Second.
You clear on it, Donna? Possible action coming out?
Yeah, the statute is whatever's on the agenda.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, and you're not decided on rescheduling it
After, and
Yeah.
I'll just text it.
Okay.
Did I forget last time?
No, I'm just worried that you could forget.
Because, you're getting older, so you forget stuff.
Very true, and I'm still here. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, and the ayes have it. The board is entering executive session.
Only one person voted.